How's everyone doing? I want to make sure, Rigo, are we good? Or while we're getting set up, I will just say, ladies and gentlemen, Adi Shankar. And vocal leads Johnny Young Bosch and Scout Taylor-Compton.
This is so fucking sick.
I gotta say, I'm waiting on Rigo and to make sure we're good. We're just gonna bullshit for a second. The episodes, they looked so good on this movie screen. I gotta give credit to Studio Mirror and to you for pulling this fucker off.
Thank you.
So also, while we're getting set up, just to remind everyone, just real quick, just to remind everyone, when this is over, we're gonna have a reception with food and drinks, which is like when you walk out, you go through security, like the security will show you where to go. But just an important note: the bathrooms are here. So if you have to use the bathroom here, and then go to the reception. And it looks really cool, and I think everyone's gonna have a great time. And now, how are you guys doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That was so awesome to see that with the audience.
Scary too, though.
Yeah, I'm shaking.
Yeah, you guys laughed at the jokes.
You reacted appropriately.
Yeah.
It made you well.
The best part is, what I love about this, and I want to give a huge thank you to Netflix, is that it's very hard to watch Netflix television in group settings. You know, and it was just awesome to hear everyone, like you said, laughing and sharing in this communal experience. So again, thank you, Netflix, for letting us screen these episodes early tonight.
I really modeled this show after the blockbusters, the Hollywood summer blockbusters from between 1998, 1999, and 2003, 2004. So movies like Underworld, Mission Impossible 2, Bad Boys. Movies that were crowd pleasers. And I didn't grow up in America. I would watch them, in theaters, and these American blockbusters would dominate the cultural conversation in any freaking country I lived in. And I missed that because it's. So I modeled it after that. So this was actually like super gratifying, watching it in a theater.
Yeah, Adi, I just have to bring up, and you've been working on this for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's finally here. What is it actually like for you? Because if we're keeping track, you started talking about it in 2018, before COVID, and now here we are, so many years later. What does it mean to you to, have such a positive reaction and to finally have this coming out?
I don't really have words. It's just kind of surreal and overwhelming. I'll probably be able to have a diatribe about it, like, at some point. But right now, I'm just kind of in the moment.
Sure. For people that are wondering, what did take so long to get this to screens? Besides, obviously, I can see the quality is there.
Well, 7 years sounds like a long time, but I announced that I was doing this towards the end of quarter 4 of 2018. We only started outlining it right away, the top of 2019, and I spent a lot of time in the outline phase. Just I'm like, just keep doing it over and over and over and over again until it's tight, and then let's get into scripts, right? Because then it gets harder to change course correct in the scripting phase. So the outline phase lasted like almost a year. And then during that time, I was finishing post on a TV show I created for Netflix called The Guardians of Justice. It's like a Superman kills himself on TV because he's depressed show. And Batman has to figure out why he did it. Spoiler alert. So, I was working on that through the process. And then 2019 was outlining, 2020 was scripting. Then we started, and then I got a call saying Captain Laserhawk, which was the last show I released in 2023, got greenlit. So that went into production. And this is a really boring story.
No, actually,
So I'm just like going through it. So
this
yeah.
is actually explaining what you've been working on, a lot of other stuff, which you can watch.
No, but I was working on this all throughout the process, throughout the time, and then so we finally started production on Devil May Cry December 2022.
Yeah. So for all three of you, I love learning about like the behind the scenes of making anything. So what would surprise people to learn about the making of Devil May Cry?
That you're in a booth by yourself and you never meet the other actor until today. So hey man, you killed it.
Who are you again?
The one that's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, that is wild, actually. Yeah.
Right? We just met today. For the
And
first time.
it's crazy.
I just spread dangerous misinformation. It wasn't December 2022. I formally apologize to everyone. Very unacceptable behavior.
We were just gonna go with it, too. Like,
Yeah.
let's go with
This
it.
timeline is just off. What's wrong with you? Too much caffeine.
Adi, the first season is 8 episodes. How did you decide on 8? Was it ever going to be 6? Was it ever going to be 10? How did it get figured out?
It's outlined.
Yeah, the outline was just 8.
Sometimes, like I've spoken to a lot of showrunners, and they talk about how the studio will say, "Okay, we're going to give you. This is not a real number. We're going to give you $5 to make your first season, and you need to figure out how many episodes you want. But if you want to do more episodes, you still have $5. So, like, there's that element of how many do you want to make?
Well, we got $8, so.
Again, I want to point out the $5 was a made-up number.
I don't think that was made up, bro. I think there's some trauma you need to unpack. We'll unpack it with you right here. What's wrong, bro?
I got a lot of issues. Too much for tonight.
You know I'm here for you.
This is an offline conversation, but yes, I need
I
hugs.
feel like it's a podcast conversation.
This is great.
No, but, was it ever going to be another number, or did you
No.
always? Because it's 8.
Yeah, I just went like, I'd say. I just make decisions and go with it.
That's the power of being a showrunner. Let's talk about something else.
I did stuff like that before I was a showrunner. I just kind of like make decisions.
People listen.
Yeah, people listen.
Well, but the thing is, though, like with Netflix, they might have also said we want 6, we want 10. But I want to ask about Netflix. What were they like as a partner? Do they give a lot of notes? Were the notes they gave like really good? Like what are they like as a partner?
And they're amazing as a partner. I'm not just saying that, because
We're here.
and they're watching security.
Right there.
They're phenomenal. I mean, this entire dream of adult animation. We need a better word for it because part of me when I say it out loud, I'm like, we just need a new word.
I agree with you. Adult animation.
It
doesn't
sounds terrible.
It sounds like we're making or you making heavy metal or something.
Yeah.
Like something with
Hentai.
adults.
Yeah, I feel like a little judge by myself, which is the worst kind of judgment. Sorry, what was the question?
Netflix and what they were like.
They're awesome.
They're amazing. They're amazing. Like this entire adult animation thing purely exists because of Netflix.
They do, and listen. I think animation right now it's more. It's so much amazing stuff is being produced, especially at Netflix. Blue Eye Samurai. I could keep going.
And you were asking about do they give you notes? It's like, well, so the way the process works is I just email them all the scripts, and I was like, here it is. And then they were like, what? It's like, you just did it all? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, what if we don't like it? And I'm like, okay, then we can talk about it. And then I got a call a week later, like, no, it's really good. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I actually asked for notes. Like, I actively asked for notes because I'm not like, cause I want notes. Like, I want to make it better. So I had to be like, yo, give me some notes. And I got like amazing notes. And then I told,
Screw your notes.
no, I actually like told my best guy friend that, like, hey, I keep getting great notes from Netflix. And I like asked them for more, and they send me even more great notes. And it helps me like sculpt the thing. And he's like, dude, don't ask the studio for notes. They'll start, and the best friend is James Vanderbeek, so I mean, that's just gonna throw him under the bus. So he's funny. So he was like, he sat me down. He's like a, like a big brother to me. And he was like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, no, I think these are just great notes, bro. I'm gonna keep asking for notes.
Devil May Cry has been around since 2001, and there's been a lot of video games, comics. There's been a lot of material. How did you decide what you wanted to focus on in the first 8 episodes?
I mean, my process is completely intuitive, so I just kind of go with things as soon as I see them. So any answer I'm giving is me intellectualizing and reverse engineering a purely intuitive process. I just kind of want to preface that. So, again, first game, Devil May Cry, 2001. You have 5 mainline games. You have a reboot. You have a bunch of manga. You have a Pachinko machine. A wonderful anime from 2007. You have live stage shows, right? But the truth of the matter is, these were all a series of retcons. Right? So every time a new game came out, it was a retcon. And what I had was like the gift of hindsight, where I could just kind of look at 20 plus years of material and alchemize it, or came up with a new word today, cosmic editing. So I got to like cosmic edit. And at the end of the day, it wasn't about, Dante is still Dante. Lady is still Lady. These are the characters from the games. Yeah, we're meeting them. We're meeting younger versions of them than we would have met, like in the games. But so I'm not really changing anything. I was just really almost like an archaeologist excavating and pulling out this blueprint that was always there and bringing it to the surface to make it a cohesive, like, this word's so dorky, cinematic universe, but that's, I don't know, is it a dorky word?
It works.
Johnny, I have an individual question for you that doesn't have to do with Devil May Cry.
Okay.
Your resume it's crazy. Yeah. It's a crazy resume. But I read, and I could be wrong, that like the first voiceover thing you did was Akira. Is that true?
No, the first was Trigon. The second was Akira.
Wow, get your information straight.
I'm serious, I'm terrible at my job, and I apologize, and I will all night. But when you were doing Akira, I just have to ask you, did you have any idea like what it was and what it meant to so many people?
Yes, I did. And it was scary. But also really cool. It was one of those things that I didn't know it, I had seen it. That was back when it was called Japanimation. And I just remember it was just something so different and unique, and I don't know, I was really just drawn to it, the animation, the style, and I loved it, and I was super excited to be a part of it. I remember doing an interview for the DVD, and I was like, oh, I love it, it was so awesome. So I had so much energy that's all they showed of my interview. Just that, and then they did, because the rest of it sucked. It was just me just being so like amped up for it, and I just loved being a part of that,
So one of the things about voice recording, and this is for you guys, is I'm always curious, what is it like in like the days leading up to you doing like a lot of vocal work in a booth? Are you purposely like trying to conserve your voice? Are you drinking a lot of tea with honey? Are you like doing anything? Or is it sort of just like, no, we're just going to the booth and let's see what happens?
Going to a con, drinking a beer. No, there's not really any prep for me anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I did prep for this. Like, there's so much material. So I went through a ton of it. I even redubbed DMC3 on my own, just to kind of like play with different versions of, like how, like I imitated, then I adjusted like 3 or 4 different ways, and then I just wanted to see how can I adjust this phrase or whatever he's saying and mean something else,
Yeah, I didn't want to get in my head, man. I didn't want to go and watch and, look up Lady and look at the games. And, I've been a part of a franchise that was, like the shirt, that was, portrayed by Jamie Lee Curtis and, taking on that role. So I've already kind of been in that world. So I didn't want to compare myself. And I just trusted that Addie chose me for a reason, for what I brought to it. And so I just kind of wanted to stay in my own headspace with it.
I think it's a good choice, though. Or you did excellent.
Oh, thanks.
Totally.
And those of you that are familiar with the games, Lady changes, so it's better that you gave this real raw, just what was on the pages.
Yeah, it was really from Addie's amazing work on the script. I mean, I got her instantly. I truly felt her just reading it. Like so emotional, so raw, so strong, fucking badass. Yeah.
This version of the character was developed with you in mind. Like,
every time I say that, it makes me emotional. Thanks.
I was wondering how you picked the voice cast.
story time.
Yeah.
So in 2015, I dropped a really violent R-rated Power Rangers short film. Right.
Blew up the internet.
Blew up the internet. Joseph Kahn directed it. And for like a year, everywhere I went, like just random dudes would come up to me like, bro. So I just assume it's like this beloved thing, and I'm like untouchable, and I'm awesome. So then I get an invite to go to a Power Rangers convention and like to speak. And I'm like, yeah, totally, I'm in. And then I think like 3 weeks later, a friend of mine's like, wow, you're really brave for going to this convention. And I'm like, brave? What do you mean? And then she's like, go read the comments in the Facebook. I go and read, and it's like people are mad. And I realize this is like the hardcore Power Rangers fan base. Like, people who just love Power Rangers and didn't like that I subverted it and had the beheadings and all sorts of crazy violent stuff. So I'm like going through the comments, and I'm just like, oh my god! And I'm gonna be like trapped in a convention center with these people. That's terrifying. Like, what do I do? So I reach out to Jason David Frank, who's he's since passed, but he was the green Power Ranger. And I'm like, hey man, I'm coming to this convention. I'm supposed to speak, and everyone's like not happy about it. Do you think you could come up on stage with me and just kind of intro me or something, just to let the audience know I'm cool and I'm a fan? And he goes, yeah, I know, and no, you're on your own, bro. So I'm freaking out. So then I show up to this thing, because I'm not one to back out of situations, but in my mind I'm thinking if you're a pro wrestling fan, I'm thinking I'm John Cena going into ECW One Night Stand, like booze, people throwing things at me. So then I show up to the event, and I think the coordinator was like, okay, you've got a green room, and I just wouldn't leave if I were you. I'm like, what? What is this? What is happening? And I'm tripping out. I'm like, what is about to happen? And then Johnny, who I literally never met, walks in with Steve Cardenas, the Red Power Ranger, and they're like, oh, hey, now we're coming on stage with you. And everything I said that day was stupid. I just spoke nonsense and gibberish, and then Johnny and I hung out later that night. And we spent about an hour and a half dissecting his line from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, where he said, I'm a frog. And as we were talking, he morphed into Dante. And then I knew. And then 6 months later, I sent someone to his house with the outline for the show. But I didn't tell him that he was going to be Dante. It was
Yes,
just
I know. I Guy shows up, sunglasses, suit, briefcase. I'm like, what is going on here?
I have a flair for the theatrics. No longer. COVID changed me. And so Scout and I actually acted in a film together in 2014. I based the Dante lady dynamic on my and Scout's dynamic during that movie. I got very good reviews, by the way, as an actor.
You did great.
But I was miserable the whole time. Imposter syndrome. I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm like with serious actors. But so I'm a let's use voice actor people. Not I'm like, look, we've got amazingly talented voice actors. Let's use amazingly talented voice actors, not non-voice actors, right? And yeah. So that's my MO, and so we just went through person after person, and it was just exhausting, and like no one was nailing it. But finally, I emailed the casting director, and I'm like, look, just go out to Scott Taylor-Compton, and then she sends in like her, and it was just immediately like, yeah, I mean, obviously she's gonna nail it because literally there are lines in the script that she said to me, so of course she would nail it.
I'm curious, when you were figuring out the show, how much were you thinking about, and how much does Netflix ask? Do you have a plan for like season 2 or 3 if this show goes? And how much was it sort of like, I want to make a kick-ass first season, we'll worry about season 2 if we get to make it?
I don't think in terms of like seasons or anything like that, because those are like formats, It's like just like me and I talk so much about, like, I don't understand the difference between a movie and a TV show. It's just like length. I get it, but I also don't get it. To me, this is a living, breathing world that now exists within me, and you can point to any character, anyone in the background, I can tell you everything about them. And so it just kind of exists, and there's like a lot of stories there. Does that make sense?
100%. What do you guys want to tease about episodes 3 through 8? Without spoilers.
More action.
I'm shocked by that answer.
More Lady and Dante.
Yeah, baby.
More White Rabbit. More demons.
Do you guys...
It also gets emotional, guys.
It
Like,
does.
it gets there's a lot of heart in this show. That's very attractive to me when I read the material, especially with Lady. I was like, wow, she's not just like a one note badass bitch. Like there's so many layers to each of these characters. Like they're going through their own journey, and then they go through their own journey together. Sorry. Am I not loud enough?
I'm just making sure we can record it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much tragedy in this franchise, and that is the basis of a lot of what comes next. So, without spoiling anything,
Our favorite episode as a unit is 6.
episode 6. Yeah.
I was literally just going to ask you, what's your favorite of season?
Number 6.
It's 6.
I think people in the theater are gonna watch it, so we don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do like a tease.
Don't.
They don't want to. Yeah.
What?
Should I tease?
Well, how much do you want to give away?
Don't give it
I'm
away.
just like, excited to share the rest of it with you. So I'm just sad that cut it off at 2. I want to show you.
Yeah.
I honestly, no BS, if I could watch more episodes on the movie screen, I would. Like, it looks so good. And I actually want to ask you about Studio Mirror, which is the ones who animated. Talk a little bit about working with them, because they did such a good job with this.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. It was, I mean, first of all, their body of work before this is amazing. They don't really need an introduction, I feel. But it was, how do I say this? The stuff I'd done before felt like indie movies. you know, very like bespoke indie movies. This felt like Nike coming to me and being like, yo, you're gonna make a shoe and we're gonna mass produce it. Did that make sense? It was cool. Like, I had to like quickly adjust to this speed and scale very quickly. Right, so I mean, this is just like the turnaround, and just because like the train is moving so freaking fast. That took a little getting used to.
What is it? If you could go into a little more detail, like what does that actually mean? Does that mean like, oh, you need to constantly be delivering script or approvals or
Like
whatever?
everything, because everything is a decision. So it's not just like approvals; it's like literally like decisions, right? So like when you look at, I'll just give you an example. So when you look at like, we have these little flashes of young Dante. Right? Like, I made a choice to have them be really freaking cute. Like the kids, when you're in adult mode, you're fine, you're fast. When you're in kid mode, you're really cute. And you have like huge eyes and like cartoony. Because it's like one of the things I'm tackling thematically with the show is this idea that we all spend our adulthoods chasing what we lost as children. It's like at some point something got taken from you as a kid, and that created a fracture that altered your destiny. And now as an adult, you are trying to regain what you lost as a kid. And so then that's one expression of that idea. The kid is cute, the kid is innocent.
I definitely want to bring up, because I'm running out of time. I just have to move on because I really want to talk about, for people that don't realize, Kevin Conroy does a voice in this. It's one of his last things. He voices Leafy Veins. And can you talk a little bit about why you getting to work with Kevin? And I'm also curious because Kevin passed in November of 22. Like, when did he record the voice?
He recorded it, right before he passed. So like he was done, and then I woke up to a text message. So it was pretty jarring. There's nothing I can really say that other than he's a legend, he's a giant, not just as a voice actor, as an actor, and. I've been on set with Brad Pitt, Ryan Reynolds, Mark Wahlberg. This was the only time I was intimidated.
I mean, listen, a lot of us, in fact, I would argue everyone in this theater has heard his voice in something.
Well, and also his eyes, like it felt like he was like seeing through. Like, oh no, he's seeing through me.
If someone has never played Devil May Cry, what is the game they should start with?
Way to tell me you've never played Devil May Cry.
Listen, unless it involves the buttons A and B, I have not played it.
So Frosty doesn't believe in video games.
That is an absolute lie. They're just, here, I don't mean to put myself in this. I'm so busy watching movies and TV that I've given up video games. But the other problem is, like, I give credit to anyone who can put in 100 hours. Like, I just don't have that bandwidth, and I'm also not, anyway, I like the old, like, Mario or Zelda. Like, I'm a very simple video game player.
Angry Birds.
Yeah.
I was going to actually say Animal Crossing, but go on.
So if you're a casual gamer, I'd say start with 5, Devil May Cry 5. If you want to immerse yourself in where the franchise began, Devil May Cry 1 for PS2. And for you, Frosty, I will personally mail you a manga and a light novel. How about that?
Sure. Johnny, which one do you want to recommend if you've never played Devil May Cry?
Which one would you recommend?
Yeah, you're very involved in the video games.
Yeah.
Very.
I'd say 4 and 5.
I wonder why.
I like the guy in Hero.
I'm waiting on Holly to figure out. I mean, there's something going on.
No. No. It's just I'll put that away.
I was like, I definitely want to touch on Limp Bizkit opening song. How did that come about?
Well, I've wanted to use Roland for many years, right? So like in 2011, I was trying to make an action movie, live action. It was Die Hard on a Bridge. That was the concept. And the whole time I was imagining it with Roland playing. And Roland would be the trailer song. And people laughed at me. But yeah, I'm just really into new metal. But really, how do I say this? A lot of this show is my memory of Devil May Cry and the world I existed in 2001 when I was playing the game. So that was the music I was listening to. Yeah.
No, listen, I could ask you 50 other questions.
But I mean, look, it was baked into the script. Like it was like right at the outset. You know, I was like, this is the script, or this is the story. Here are the scripts, and here are the songs I need. Like, that was like.
Yeah, it was written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bands are equally as excited being a part of it. I mean, we just got invited to go to the Papa Roach concert, and I went the other night, and they were ecstatic that their song is being used in Devil May Cry, and they were talking about the trailer drop and everything, and Evanescence, and I mean, they're equally as stoked.
Yeah, Emily's super stoked. You're exactly.
So a few quick things. Number one, if you enjoyed what you saw tonight and use what's called social media, please spread the word. The entire season will be on Netflix on this Thursday, which is awesome, so you can watch the rest of the episodes. Like I said at the beginning, you need to use the bathroom before the reception. It's in this building.